tribalism in the black community needs to end. It needs to end. Point blank period, it needs to end. The same people who tried to make George Floyd a hero, who built statues of the man and compared him to MLK, are now trying to make 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, who stabbed to death an innocent young boy, simply because he touched his backpack, a victim. Someone who committed cold-blooded murder, a victim. A victim of circumstance, a victim of retaliation, whatever. I don't care. There is no world in which Carmelo Anthony is a victim. We need to divorce ourselves from this false notion that just because someone looks like us, we need to defend everything that they do. That's how we end up defending people like R. Kelly. That's how we end up defending people like O.J. Simpson. That's how we end up defending people like Bill Cosby. It's wrong. I don't care what you look like, if you're blue, green, yellow, orange, white, orange, or turquoise. If you do wrong, I'm going to call balls and strikes. Wrong is wrong. And what Carmelo Anthony did was point blank wrong. Murder is wrong. This should not be profound. It is simply common sense.
What's going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come back to it. And I wanted to kind of touch on a story that I talked about, I think it was Friday, about the killing. The one teenager killed the other one in Frisco, Texas. And the one that was killed was a white boy by the name of Austin Metcalfe. And the one that killed him is a 17-year-old black kid by the name of Carmelo Anthony. Now, there was no justification for it whatsoever. This was not a self-defense situation at all. Not at all. I mean, again, Carmelo came over to another high school's tent at a track and field event, armed with a knife. I mean, he had a knife in his backpack. And again, who brings a knife to a high school track meet except somebody who's planning on using it? So he comes over to their tent, sits down, starts talking smack. And when he's asked to leave, he won't. He refuses to leave. And so, again, they tell him to leave. And he says, I'm not going to leave. If you touch me, you'll find out. So, again, he's coming over there armed, threatening them. You know, again, I'm not going to leave. And if you touch me, you'll find out. So apparently, Austin grabbed his backpack, Carmelo's, and Carmelo reached in, grabbed the knife, and stabbed him, killing him. I mean, again, where is the justification in that at all? Again, to me, that's premeditation. He went there, knowing he was going to use it, knowing he was going to stab somebody. And it happened. Now, there are a lot of people that are taking up for him, saying it's self-defense and it's white supremacy and everything else. I mean, just a bunch of bullshit. And so I'm gonna put up some of these TikTokers. They're talking about how Carmelo Anthony is a victim of white supremacy. And I'm also going to show you, man, this YouTuber by the name of Tim Black. And Tim Black, again, is like these TikTokers. I mean, again, not much going on above the neck. Not much. But anyways, guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.
That's all we know. All we know is the young man at the bottom stabbed the young man at the top. and we know the colors. And now you can see MAGAs being MAGA.
Will anybody in the sports media world talk about this? Will any of the Cowboys treat Austin Metcalfe the way the Cowboys treated George Floyd, taking a knee all over the place? What's more of a tragedy? George Floyd overdosing on fentanyl under the knee of Derek Chauvin, or this 17-year-old boy, honor roll student, devout Christian, stabbed in the heart at a track meet?
Now, MAGA go MAGA on an issue like this. We get it. This story has a whopping, I saw one particular clip with a whopping 30 million views because somebody got stabbed. No context. And it said the person up top had a 4.0.
George Floyd overdosing on fentanyl under the knee of Derek Chauvin, or this 17-year-old boy, honor roll student, devout Christian.
Which kind of implied that the person on bottom was like somebody with a third grade education, out dealing dope or something. Well, that ain't the case. He's also an athlete. They were both athletes, and this happened at a track meet. I don't know exactly what happened. I know whatever happened, it was a tragedy. It was a tragedy in someone's life. Young people, 17 years old. Foolishness, like crazy. Did not need to happen. But what I'm talking about is also the way people are characterizing this.
Bar outrage. But these idolatrous, or these idols that have been installed in our culture, let's see if they have a word to say about this. I don't think they will, because we've seen this before.
No matter what Tim Black says, again, we do know what happened. To a large degree, we know exactly what happened. Again, this Carmelo Anthony, he took a knife, put it into his book bag, went to a track meet, a high school track meet, and went and sat under another tent for another school, started talking shit, was told to leave, refused to, threatened like, hey, look, you touch me, I'll cut you down. Do you not understand that right there is the problem? He is the problem. Nobody needs to bend over backwards for him. Nobody needs to understand him. Nobody needs to, again, have anything, any sympathy, anything for him. The guy's a thug. Again, you can say whatever you want to say. Tim Black, he can say whatever you want to say. But the kid was raised wrong, and the only way it's going to stop is if people start pointing it out. If they start calling it out. If they start saying, hey, look, man, look what's happening. Look what's happening. It's happening primarily in the black community. Among young black men. Young black men are very violent. Again, by far the most violent demographic in this country. By far. And again, Tim Black can say whatever he wants to say. Guys, let me share this next clip of the father of Austin Metcalfe. And Tim Black responds to that.
What kind of parents did this child have? What was he taught? He brought a knife to a track meet, and he murdered my son by stabbing him in the heart. The guy was in the wrong place. They asked him to move, and he bowed up. This is murder.
Oh, why'd they cut it? Why'd they cut the bowed up part? Yeah, why'd they get cut? Because my understanding is, when you said bowed, he said, I'm not moving and don't touch me. And he was vastly outnumbered. It was a number of you guys, and your son was with friends. I don't know why they cut it. They cut that for a reason. When they cut stuff, there's always a reason. So there's a reason why they cut it at bowed up. Bowed up is, he said, don't touch me. If you touch me, you're going to be sorry. That's what I'm reading.
You would think that little Timmy would realize, you know what? Maybe we're the problem. Maybe black folks are the problem. Not the white kids. Not the white kids. So again, what really happened? Oh, well, let's see. Anthony, or Carmelo Anthony, walked up, armed, sat down in somebody else's tent. When he was told to leave, refused to leave, and said, if you touch me, you'll find out. I'm not leaving here. Again, thought he owned the world. And then said, touch me and find out. Touch me and find out. Stabbed the kid in his chest, killing him. And again, the entire thing could have been avoided by Carmelo. Do you not understand that? By him. He could have avoided the situation. Nobody else. No, but the fact of the matter is, maybe we like to blame. In today's society, we like to blame the white people, the white man. Again, as to being at fault. Real. If they would have just sat there and said nothing to Carmelo, again, none of this would happen. None of it would happen if Carmelo wouldn't have arrived at the track and field meet with a knife, sat in their area, refused to leave, and then threatened them, hey, look, do something and you'll find out what happens. Again, he is and was the problem, just like so many other young black men and black boys are. And again, they're way above anyone else, any other demographic, when it comes to absolute violence, nasty behavior, dangerous. Young black men and black boys. I think it's like age 15 to 35 or whatever. Again, they're horrible. And again, we have another group that we can give credit to. I mean, honestly, black women. Black women, by far, they raise the majority of black men. They do. They're doing a bad job. I mean, again, black women have that, kind of the nasty attitude, whatever. And again, not all, but a lot do. And they pass that along. They instill that in their kids. And yet their boys are growing up and they're acting entitled and they're acting like mama. Mad, entitled. And again, their anger is misplaced. They're mad at their mamas. Again, you can't blame other people for your life, other groups for your life. Ain't nobody holding you down. You have the same opportunities that I have. But you like to complain that you don't. And people like Tim Black, they fan those flames. Again, he'll sit there. Well, I import black people. No, not poor black people. Again, black people, they need to learn, understand. And the only way that's going to happen is if people point it out, call it out. Because again, they got to see what they're doing. They're doing it themselves and they're ruining their own lives in the process. Okay, new information. New information about the investigation into the stabbing death of 17-year-old Frisco student athlete. CBS News Texas has learned from law enforcement sources involved in the investigation that 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, the suspect in the murder of 17-year-old Austin Metcalfe, had been previously suspended. Scroll down here. For bringing a knife to school. Law enforcement sources tell us that 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony should have been in class at Centennial High School and was skipping school yesterday when he allegedly stabbed Austin Metcalfe following an altercation. We have not received a response from Frisco ISD to the information. And I wanted to show you one more thing from Matt Walsh that Matt Walsh had put up on Twitter as well, on X. Watch. Alright guys, I wanted to bring this to you, and Matt Walsh posted this earlier today. He said thousands of people in the black community have rallied around Carmelo Anthony and given over $160,000 to his family as a reward for murdering a white kid. And again, that's what happened. And that's exactly, unfortunately, what happened. And again, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. Again, as of earlier today, and I don't know if this has been shut down at this point, I don't know, but I don't think so. Their goal, $200,000, as of earlier, they had already raised, like 10, 12 hours ago, they had already raised $163,233. I mean, again, and this is coming from really one demographic, blacks. And again, I'm not demonizing it, or am I saying it's coming from all? But there is an issue here. And the issue is hatred of white people. And again, people, they gotta stop beating around the bush and really confront that, really say that. The issue right here is white hate. Real quick, I want to put up a couple of TikTok videos, kind of showcasing people that are in support of Carmelo Anthony. And again, man, if you want to support the guy, go right ahead. But be honest with yourself as to why you're supporting him. And again, man, if you can actually do that and still be okay with it, when knowing that you're actually looking for the facts, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Guys, watch.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. Austin Metcalfe's murder was not self-defense.
I'd be so disappointed in black people, man. Like, I don't even be... It's astonishing at this point, because I just feel like if you ain't never made a post to advocate for Kendrick Johnson, George Floyd, the twins that were just murdered in Georgia, but you want to get on here and speak on the situation on the opposing side of Carmelo Anthony, not even knowing, nobody knows all the facts. There's 1,000 stories going around. Like, man, y'all are disappointing. That's sad. That's sad. This is not the time for you to speak on injustices of this country. This is not the time. Imagine if we stuck by each other how they stick by each other, because they gonna stick by each other, right or wrong, at the end of every day. We got to do better, black people. We got to do better. Innocent until proven guilty, right?
You know what the difference between these two men is? One of them was assaulted before they turned to violence. The other one wasn't even talked to. One of them had to tell their assailant, "Put your hands on me again and find out what happens." The other one had to take his AirPods out, put the Soldier of Fortune magazine he was reading back into his little backpack, and walk across a subway car to choke someone out. One of them was defending themselves from violence. The other one was defending strangers against words. This is important, so listen up. I'm not defending what either of these men did. But if you defended one of them, you better fucking defend the other one. Because if you defended this one, but you're not defending this one, even though this one was actually attacked, guess what that makes you? Racist.
Guys, I want to jump in here real quick. And the reason why is because this guy he's lying. He's lying. He's flat out lying. And again, there are some people that might buy into his stuff, but please don't. Again, Daniel Penny was not defending the passengers against words. He was defending the passengers against the possibility of bodily harm. And again, the guy was threatening to hurt and kill them. And again, if somebody's standing right in front of you and they're threatening to kill you or hurt you or whatever, I mean, again, you normally don't have to wait until they start killing you. I mean, normally you don't. I mean, if they're standing there in front of you and you reasonably believe that you're going to be attacked, and that's what happened with Daniel Penny. He believed, like Alden did, they were going to be attacked. And so he got himself in position behind Jordan Neely and put him into a chokehold. And again, we don't know, but it's very likely that he saved at least somebody on the train, if not more than just one person. So again, we truly have to, be honest about that. Daniel Penny was not defending against words, but against the possibility, the threats of bodily harm.
This absolutely has to be the week of getting into people's faces and finding out what they gonna do. Because why is this child gone? Because he was getting up in this child's face. I know you guys have been familiar with this story. This is Carmelo Anthony. He's being held on $1 million bond for the unaliving of Austin Metcalfe. And now when the story had initially broke, obviously a lot of people are on the side of Metcalfe because they didn't really know the full story. That was until the local news had published Anthony's statements that were submitted in the police report. Now, according to the arrest affidavit, it stated that Anthony had confessed to the incident, claiming that he was protecting himself. Now, the article goes on to say that one witness reported and told police that Metcalfe had told Anthony that he would need to move out from underneath the tent, according to this affidavit. Just for reference, it was a rainy day, and Anthony, who was underneath the tent, was asked by Metcalfe to get from underneath the tent while it was raining. Now, the witness went on to tell police that Anthony stated, "Touch me and see what happens." And then that's when Austin Metcalfe reportedly touched Anthony, because why would you touch a person who said, "Touch me, see what happens"? After touching him to see what happens, which is just crazy work, Anthony told Metcalfe, "Punch me and see what happens." Soon after, the witness stated that Metcalfe reportedly grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, at which point the affidavit continues that Anthony reportedly pulled out, to the witnesses were called, was a knife and stabbed Metcalfe once in the chest before running away. Now, after the incident, Anthony was arrested, and his lawyers are claiming self-defense, which it sounds like, especially according to those witnesses, and they're asking the judge to lower his $1 million bond. Now, Anthony is being held in the Collin County Jail on a 7-digit bond, which is about $1 million, and he's being charged with first-degree unaliving. Now, after briefly meeting with his client, Carmelo Anthony, his attorney stated that, "I know that my client said it was self-defense, and I don't have any reason to disbelieve that, but I need to develop facts, talk to people, and figure out what's going on before I make a statement about what I think happened. I don't have any reason to think it wasn't self-defense at this time." Anthony's family has shared a support fund on GiveSendGo.com, and they've raised about $84,000 to their $100,000 goal. And I'm not here to question why Austin Metcalfe decided to put his hands on another child, because again, he's gone and he can't answer those questions. But let this be a testament to tell you that you do not have the right to touch somebody or enter into their personal spaces. Because unfortunately, violating somebody's personal space made Austin find out the hard way. All
right, guys, well, I'm going to wrap the video up right here, but again, we've got to be honest. People have got to be honest about what they're doing and why they're doing it. And again, much of the black community, not all, but much, they're defending this kid, Carmelo Anthony. And again, they're wanting to justify murder. Again, that's what it is. You can say whatever you want to say. And I'm going to be doing more on this as well because I really do think this is a very important subject that we need to, there needs to be more talk about. And that's really just how much the black community hates whites, hates the white community. And again, it's not because of slavery, systemic racism, or whatever. It's what they're taught. But guys, man, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks. You son of a.